All right, we just kind of we'll quickly run through. We'll spend a little more time on the U-shape.
We had someone who said Mary Wood said she's not sure what shape she has.
Okay, yeah, I mean, there are other shapes than these. These happen to be the popular ones.
Yeah.
You'll see we're going to get into some before-after designs later on, and you'll see some of them don't really fit into your classic shapes. But so just real quick, L-shape. Emily, what are your thoughts on L-shaped kitchens?
Can you pull that poll off of the screen real quick for me?
Can I do what now?
I have the poll.
Oh, you want to close the poll? Sorry.
There you go. I got it off. Okay. L-shaped kitchen. You want my thoughts on this one exactly?
Both, just in general, and this one obviously has some issues we could talk about.
Right. Yeah, I think missing in here for sure would be an island. The very first thing that I think of when I look at this is I think about the height of the upper cabinets at the sink. And I know that every time I would lean over to wash a dish, I would smack my head on that. So it would be helpful if that could be raised. And the sink is too close to the corner there. And then the door handle on the refrigerator should be on the opposite side. So those are some key things that pop out to me really quickly.
Yeah, I don't know who designed that refrigerator to open that way, but that's obviously a mistake.
An island would be super helpful here. I mean, it looks like there's a good amount of cabinets, unless you're a chef, or a baker. There's a decent amount of cabinets in here, but an island would be nice. That would be very helpful.
Yeah, I like L-shaped kitchens. They can be real efficient. Obviously, we've got our pros and cons list here. You guys can see. L-shaped kitchens in general need to be small kitchens. If an L-shaped kitchen starts getting too big, well, now now you're walking 8 feet to get from one end of the island to the other, or one end of the countertop to the other. You don't want that. So in general, L-shaped kitchens are small. If you want to do a bigger L-shape, like Emily said, adding an island is a fantastic way to do an L with an island. That adds counter space and it adds storage space and a bunch of other things. Popular choice down here, L-shape with an island. This kitchen in particular, if you guys are looking at a kitchen that has a lot of design issues, here's that classic, I don't know what I would do about this, but here's that classic, I open this dishwasher and now I can't reach these cabinets where it's most likely my dishes would go. Kind of a design problem. You could probably scooch that dishwasher down to here next to the fridge. You wouldn't usually do that because stainless steel next to stainless steel visually can be a little odd, but you could do a paneled dishwasher or something like that to hide it.
Even changing how the doors above the dishwasher, how they open double. So if you have that door open and you're trying to take the dishes out of the dishwasher and put them in, it would be helpful if the hinges were on the other side. Yeah,
the door is in your way. It opens up towards you. Yeah. And then here's a classic. We see this a lot in older kitchens, and sink in the corner, like right in the corner. So literally your hip is up against the countertop when you're trying to wash dishes at that sink. It's, again, a bit of a mistake. But they do have, a decent amount of storage counter space left and right of the range, which I dig. But yeah, L-shaped kitchens, good choice for a kitchen. If you're going to remodel them or modify them, probably the most popular thing is to put an island in. Mm-hmm. These cabinets could probably go to the ceiling, get a little more storage out of them. Okay. Here's what most people seem to have is a U-shaped kitchen. Pros and cons. I like U-shaped kitchens. You get a lot of cabinet space out of a U-shaped kitchen, which is nice. A lot of counter space out of a U-shaped kitchen. Mm-hmm. Where you run into trouble with a U-shape, I would say is, and this is kind of a good example right here, you've got a nice range, but you don't have a ton of counter space. But if you added counter space to left and right of that range, you're making the kitchen wider, and now your counter space on this side and on the sink side are getting further and further apart, which makes that less efficient. Mm-hmm. So the U-shape can be a little bit of a challenge that way. But a U-shape with an island is a good way to deal with that. I kind of think if you do a U-shape with an island, this is the classic situation where zoning really makes a ton of sense. Because you take a U-shaped kitchen and put an island in the middle of it, it's very difficult to walk back and forth from one side of the kitchen to the other. You start to zoning your storage and zoning your prep starts to make sense. Any thoughts on U-shaped?
Yeah, I have the kitchen in a house that I'm actually moving out of is similar to this, but there's an island in the middle, and it's really frustrating. I have to walk all the way around the island, to get to the refrigerator, and and I'm trying to decide which way is faster, which way around the island should I actually get?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that as a common mistake in remodel kitchens where they add an island, is they create a barrier between one part of the work triangle or one zone of the kitchen and another. And then you wind up with that. Yeah, you're like walking around your island all the time. So something to think about with U-shaped kitchens. Brandon, anything to add?
No, just a lot of good cabinet space in the U-shaped kitchen.
Yeah. And one thing today with open kitchen layouts being really popular, U-shaped kitchens generally aren't as open. So that's, if you want an open kitchen, U-shape isn't always your best. Now, if you want to modify a U-shape, very easy to, it's probably a built-in fridge here. But if you want to move that fridge, take down this wall, create a bar here, you can open up a U-shaped kitchen in an older home pretty easily. You keep all your counter space, you lose a bit of cabinet space, a bit of cabinet storage, but you can open that kitchen up.
It's also pretty rare to see drawers in the corners. So I'm curious if that filler is large enough on either side, if you can actually open that drawer without.
Oh, that's a really good point. Yeah, that's a rookie mistake, not having, and there isn't a lot of filler in there. So yeah, if you open that drawer, it's a pretty good chance it's going to hit the pull on that adjacent cabinet. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a rookie error. I see that a lot in sort of DIY kitchens or kitchens that were put in by a handyman or a builder without much experience.
The kitchens that you're ripping out.
Kitchens that we're ripping out, right? Yeah, we should encourage more of that.
Yeah.
Paul can fix you up.
The GShape, probably one of my least favorite kitchens. We were just looking back at some of our past projects in preparation for this presentation, and we realized a lot of kitchens we remodel are G-shaped. And I think it's just not a great, G-shapes has got a lot of kind of built-in issues. But Emily, do you see a lot of G-shaped kitchens in your area?
Yes, and we love to remove them.
Yeah.
Yeah. This actually isn't a terrible one because normally a G-shaped kitchen would have a wall right where this peninsula is. This kitchen has probably been remodeled.
Or they have a part that's on an angle, which is a lot.
Yeah, here in Tallahassee, this little G, this little section of the G is usually on an angle, and usually that's where the sink goes.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible design. It's a terrible layout. But this kitchen, if you're talking efficiency, again, I don't understand this at all. You're taking the range and you're putting it right in the corner with very little counter space to work with. That to me would be that's a built-in problem in my opinion.
And again, you have the sink on the corner.
Yeah, range in the corner, sink in the corner. Let's just put everything in the corner.
Let's put everything on one side and have this big long.
Yeah.
And I think Brianna and I can agree that it would be to have the range where the refrigerator is, but centered on that wall for symmetry. And then you could do, if you want to do some beautiful motif over the cooktop and have that be at the focus. I mean, it's weird that kind of like the focal is the refrigerator.
Yeah. I also hate it when we break up countertops with a tall object like a fridge or a cabinet. Like this countertop being continuous, or maybe having a cooktop or range there would make a lot more sense. I see a lot with builders. Again, this was the old let's build from the outside in philosophy. That sink is there because they had to, if you don't center that sink on the window, it'd be weird. And Nobody thought about where that window was in relation to the kitchen when they designed that house. And so now whoever designed this kitchen was stuck. And then I think in this design, someone really wanted overhang here, which forced them, you could move these cabinets 18 inches further to the left of that window and probably fix that issue, but you'd lose your seating. So someone made a compromise to have seating and keep that sink in the corner.
And that area to the right of the refrigerator just would be a junk spot for mail. But then you have the beautiful glass cabinets above it to show your pretties, but you have the keys and your mail and all the other junk that's on the counter that's, useless.
This to me is and I don't want to, insult anybody or put anybody off, but this to me is a classic builder kitchen where the spouse or the girlfriend or the office manager or somebody who isn't really a kitchen designer designed a kitchen. They made a lot of, relatively rookie mistakes. It looks good. It's certainly, if you could see this in a Pinterest or you could see this somewhere. It looks nice looking kitchen. The white, the marble and the white and the wood floors.
Yeah, it looks like they have a wolf.
that could be a very expensive. Yeah, that does actually look like a $5,000, $10,000 cooktop range.
The feeling is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you can afford nice things doesn't mean you know what you're doing. Single layout. We don't need to spend a lot of time on this. These are efficiency units. If you got the space, you could add an island to them. It's nice. Galley kitchens, actually, nice. I like them. Super efficient. Not really open to the rest of the house, but not everybody wants an open kitchen. Emily, your thoughts on Galley kitchens?
I like this one a lot, and I also think it's very pretty.
Yeah.
It is very pretty. It's kind of classic.
Yeah.
White cabinets, marble. They do have inset cabinets, which everybody should know by now. I can't stand, but I tend to be alone in that thought because people think they are really beautiful. I just think they're really
inefficient.
You guys have many Galley kitchens where you're at?
We see a decent number of them, but the open kitchen thing is so popular. Most people want to open them up.
Yeah.
You see, I don't know if I say percentages wise, I'd say 20% of the population wants separation from a kitchen living area, but the vast majority want it to be open.
Yeah.
Yeah. But depending on the layout of this house, this kitchen could be opened up if you needed to. Galley kitchens can be opened up easily in a lot of situations. But the Galley kitchen is probably the easiest way to create a work triangle. You get a lot of storage space. If this aisle is wide enough, you can work multiple cooks in them really easily and prep and clean. The Galley's got a lot going for it, other than maybe being open. Yeah, you agree, Brianna?
Yeah, I really like the Galley. I don't know why.
Yeah, I like them. I mean, really, this first one, you take a single layout like this, a one-wall layout. If you add a large island to that, just over here, you've created a Galley kitchen with that island. You don't have any upper cabinets, but that's probably, the most real popular layout here is it's a Galley with an island instead of a second wall. Works well.
Or again, it's all about the layout and the dimensions, because I grew up with the Galley kitchen and it was tiny. No one could be cooking and washing dishes at the same time because you're like bumping backs. But this is a great space.
Yeah, you gotta watch that aisle. That Galleys need a wide aisle. That's when that 50, 55, 60 inches starts to make a lot of sense, so that people can walk around each other in this kitchen.
Well, they could have the oven door open, and then you could be opening the other cabinet on the other side at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's another $12,000 range too.
Yeah.
And they actually invested in good design and really nice art.
Yeah.
I like these lights too. It's a nice little focal little.
I feel like you see a lot of Galleys in the northern areas, like New York, and this looks like it would be in a
Northeast.
Yeah.
Northern Virginia or Arlington area or something. Yeah, I could see that.
We don't have very many of them down here, but that's an absolutely gorgeous kitchen. But to what you're stating before, I think the cooks and the moms just want it wide open to be able to see the family and the kids and bring the family room and the kitchen together.
Yeah.